Morning, afternoon or evening. This is just a quick follow-up video. Hopefully it'll be a quick one. I'll try not to jingle my camera around too much while I'm talking. I'm going to do sort of a full review of this radio. This is a continuation, sort of part 2 to last night's video I did. It's a bit warmer in here now. Fortunately, it's 17 degrees in here. When I initially came in here about 2.5 hours ago, it was only 3 degrees, and it was 2 degrees outside. What day is it? It is Monday the 12th, and it is currently 3:15, or 15:14 if I was to be precise. Frank's talking to Adrian on the Alan. He's out in his lorry somewhere. Right. As I said last night, I couldn't quite, in my man cave, my untidy man cave, I've got mopeds, radios, hi-fis, TVs, I've got all sorts in here. It really needs smartening up, this place does. It's just trash everywhere, but it's hard to keep organised, but I know where everything is. So I couldn't get to the box, but I have since got the box down as I said I would, and I'm not going to do a review of the radio at this moment, so I've got to take it out of the stack there and get a dummy load and my meter and wire it all up and all that. So I will. That'll be me part 3. So we'll call this part 2, a continuation. So hopefully, it's been a few years ago, so hopefully it won't be a problem giving this out. It doesn't say a person's name. This is the receipt for the radio, and according to the date, the 8th of the 3rd 2002, it was purchased with a switch card for £230 from Halls in Melton Mowbray. So somebody paid 230 quid for the radio, brand spanking new. The box is in fairly good condition. That's the receipt. I thought I would show you that. It's nice when you get a bit of memorabilia with things, isn't it? As I say, the radio does look like brand new. It's been very well looked after. It hasn't got a mark on it, and that's how it will stay. I look after stuff. Somebody's put this in, a wiring diagram for it. Now I'm going to try and get to the bottom, or if you know the answer to this, I'll do a bit of investigate. I haven't had time to research it all yet, but Maxon, the company Maxon, Tim knows more about it than what I know. Whether they bought the radio under license from the manufacturers who made the Emperor Shogun, or whether Alan was, he says it was a couple or 2 or 3 companies that got together to form Alan, I don't know what nationality it even is, but here's the booklet. One side of it is upside down on the outside cover, and actually it looks like French to me, but I don't know. On the other side is in English, and half of the book is in English. Gives you all the specifications, schematic diagram, etc. Excuse the fan heater. Tells you you know, all the specifications of the radio, its output powers. It's in very good condition, this book. Could be argued it's almost like brand new. It's not really creased or got any scribbly writing or anything, so it's nice, isn't it? In there is the oh, Knights, blimey, it's got a, what's that for then? Didn't notice that before. In this bag, somebody's obviously bought something from Knights. Curtin and Lindsay, £10.95. I don't know what that was, but so there you go. There's the receipt for the radio. It was purchased in 2002. So 16 years ago it was purchased for the price of £230. So there you go. It's not as old as I thought it was. And the outer case of the box, where have I put that? Just to show you the box. The box is also in fair condition. It's not all ripped or too tatty. But it's nice when you get a box with a radio with all the receipts and what have you, isn't it? So there you have it. And when I find out who imported them or who made the radio and more accurate details, I'll do a little add-on piece. And later, all being well, sometime later, try and put this box down behind me. Later, all being well, I will actually do a little look around the radio, because there's a few. I can show you a couple of things now. Actually, what I didn't mention last night, I did know about it, but I was in a rush last night. My dinner was being cooked, so I knew the missus was going to call me, and also I was expecting a phone call. But underneath this one here, your SWARCAL, which adjusts the meter to check your SWR, it is also a dimmer. So if you do that, it goes bright or dim. Now, when that goes bright on my camera, it appears to be yellow, but it is actually an orange, deep orange colour. So I'll leave that on dim. On the squelch, you've got an auto squelch as well. So turn that till it clicks. It's not picking Frank up, it's just getting wiped out with the background noise. So, a bit vicious, that auto squelch. But I will show you the radio in action on a meter and show you what power it does, and I'm quite confident what it was manufactured to do, it will do. I was tempted to take the back off to see the board number. On closer inspection, somebody has been in the back at some point in the radio's life. The seal does look like it's been split. If I can get my camera to focus, that seal there does look like it's been split. If I can zoom in up now. So I didn't want to, you know, if the seals had never been broken, I didn't want to take the back off. But I might be tempted just to take the back off, just to look at what board is in the radio, what board number. I've got the feeling it'll be the same as the Emperor Shogun. But like I say, any information I can find. By the way, I had somebody send me a message saying the local DX, what does that do? Well, that's like an RF gain on a button. And also last night it snowed. About 10 minutes after I went in home and come out the man cave and I finished the video, loads of snow came down, only for a short period, for about 20 minutes, but it was quite heavy snow what settled. And my static, I'll have to look at the video, so I'll be telling a little pork pie now, but I think it was somewhere around an £8 my static. So we'll blame the snow for that, because as you can see today, it's hardly anything. I've done the test earlier with Adrian. I asked him if he could count to 10 and I'd flick around the channels and see how far, and to be fair, it must have been a harmonic I suffered with, because he's keyed up today and counted to 10 and counted down from 10. I'll flick around the channels. He gave me a little bit of tiny splatter either side, which is what I would expect from any radio. He's a powerful station. He's only a mile away. I don't know if that Frank's put on. Yeah. But yeah, today, you know, today it was pretty as I would expect it to work when Adrian was talking and I went off frequency by a couple of channels. The channel either side the channel we were on, which was 33, I got a little bit of splatter, nothing to write home about.
Good one.
And I don't exactly know what power he was pushing or what he was pushing today when we did the test.
As and when, I'll be keeping an eye out. I will be watching. I will be watching.
So there you have it, a little tiny updated version of oh, and the microphone, it's like brand spanking new as well. Not a mark on the microphone, honestly, not even the slightest of scratches on it. It's the original microphone. It is nice when you get something, what, 17 years old, to see that it has been well looked after. Despite it being, right, let's get to this one now. If I could, can I find that to show you? Yeah. What I do in this shack, it's just my my habit that I've got into. I see videos where people put a radio on top of another radio and it's got a bracket on it which is metal. Obviously where the speakers are and things, there's little protrusions. Normally these vents sort of stick upright, and you'll see people put a radio on top of another one with a metal bracket, and you know, it's going to scratch it. So what I do every radio before it lands in this house, before I put it down, it's an habit I've got into. This is over time, and all my radios, what I have, I got the wife to get me these. There's little sticky pads, right? There they are, little sticky pads. You pull them off, little squares. I've got round ones, I've got massive big square ones, and they are very sticky. They don't come off once you've put them on. They don't fall off, that's what I mean. You can get them off, but they don't fall off, and it's like a spongy rubber type stuff. And what I'll do, underneath this one, there is one in each corner, so it's not touching the top of that radio. Underneath that one there's 4, underneath that one there's 4, and every radio I bring in here, I always put these little sticky feet on. I never ever get a radio with its bracket and mount it on top of another radio, even just for a couple of minutes, because it will scratch the radio. And as I say, somebody's gone to the trouble or not used this radio much, or if they have done, they've been very careful with it. So I intend that the day, whenever it is I get rid of the radio, which I will, whenever that time comes, it won't have any scratches on it from a radio what's been sat on top of it or below it. You know, you got to look after things. If somebody's gone, if I get a clean radio in the shack in here, it leaves here exactly the same as it came. I can promise you it won't have any extra scratches. If it didn't have any on, it won't have any on when it leaves here. So for the price of these sticky pads, it's definitely worth buying some. I've even got them on linears and blooming all sorts of things. That's one of my little fetishes, that is. Get some little pads underneath them, and then you ain't got to mess about with a silly bracket. It's not even stable when you put a bracket on a radio and sit it on another radio, forgetting the fact that it will scratch it to pieces. So I always have a block of those somewhere knocking around the place. I've even got them fitted on swar meters. Well, normally your swar meters have got nice feet on, so they don't generally scratch anything up, but if it hadn't, I can assure you that would have 4 pads on. It's a little tip, that is, if you want to look after your radio equipment. Anyway, thanks for watching this part 2. Part 3, I'll get the radio out the stack, put it on the table, plug in my meter, my dummy load, and just show you the power settings on the radio, which I know are going to be somewhere near right, and if it's too high it will be turned down to what it should be, which is 10 and 25 watts. If it's 30 watts on a whistle on sideband, then obviously that's acceptable. And also, I didn't mention in my video last night, obviously you've got the button which reduces your output power on your mic gain on sideband. That would reduce your output power, but I suppose you could get a power mic. Turn it down, whistle up into it, turning it down till it's just on 10 watts, and then you'd be quite happy to run that into a little linear amplifier without blowing your amplifier up, or an old BRL 200 without, you know, making that go bang. So anyway, as usual, take care all, and part 3 of my video, which I intend to do tonight, all being well. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do a closer inspection of the radio. I might get tempted to get the screwdriver and just take the back off. I won't be touching anything, just so I can find out the board number and show you the board and the heatsink on the back and what power it does. So thanks for watching this part 2. Part 3 to come, well, hopefully in the next 24 hours. Thank you. Catch you later. No, I'm not getting any spatter off him. Adrian's out there on the channel somewhere, so I'll be interested to see if I get loads of bleed over when he keys up.
I'll pass it back to you, Shane or Adrian, whichever really. I'll have to disappear in a minute and go and do a bit, although I shall return a bit later on.
Yeah, I want to do a little experiment here while Adrian's on. Can you do me a silly favour, Adrian, and count to 10? I want to see how far away I get on this radio before you stop giving me bleed over or spatter or whatever you want to call it, because the other night I heard you 3 channels away, but I'm not sure what power you were using at the time. Will you count to 10 slowly while I just flick round channels, see how far you're affecting me?
Yes, of course, mate, yeah. 10?
No, not much, a little bit. No.
9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bleed over, 1, 2, 3.
No, you weren't giving me much. You were giving me the same as any other radio would. Not a lot. Maybe it must have been a harmonic. like I say, I don't know. I don't want you to say, by the way. It's up to you what power you use. I'm not your dad. But the other night I heard you clear as a bell about 3 channels away. So, and then Phil came in with you as clear as a bell, and he was 3 channels up. So I can only presume it's some kind of a harmonic.
Yeah, spooky. I remember you mentioning it. So yeah, very strange indeed. But well, like I've always said, mate, if it's ever causing an issue, you've only got to let me know. I'll go QRP or move off or whatever.
Can you move house, mate? Because I've had enough of you now, you lot on here. I'm fed up with you all. You're doing my head in.
Do you know what the answer to that is?
What?
Same one you gave.